everybody. Welcome to Love Life Telehealth and our Thursday meeting. And I'm so excited. My name is Dr. Kim Scheuer. I am here with the amazing Laura Stoddart. She is an amazing person, an amazing pediatric nurse, and she's a patient of mine. And she has an incredible story to tell everybody and teach everybody. So I'm so excited to bring her on. Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Excited to be here. I've got quite a story.
Well, where are you coming in from? I'm coming in from Colorado, and then we'll see where people are coming in from on the chat too. But where
Wonderful. I am currently living in what's called Northern Kentucky, right near Cincinnati, Ohio. So I've been here for about 6 years.
Nice.
And a new life, a new place to live. Originally, I'm from the East Coast in Philadelphia.
So. Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen anybody saying, oh, we got Christy from Ohio. Hi, Christy. Welcome on. We'll see if anybody else joins us. A lot of people end up watching this later, so we'll get people watching. But if you have questions, leave it in the comments, and we'll answer some questions at the end. But Laura, let's start with you.
Okay.
Tell me your story. Tell me everything about you.
All righty. Well, I am 63 young, I like to say, because thanks to you, Dr. Kim, I am now feeling like I'm about 40. And this past year, we have been working together since the fall of 23, when at that point in time, I was about 30 pounds heavier. I was working as a pediatric nurse with special needs kids and sick kids and getting everything from them. I was getting sick all the time. And the doctor then said to me, you know, you're overweight, you're hypertensive, you got high cholesterol, you're probably pre-diabetic, we're not sure, and you also have a bronchial infection. So I said to the doctor, give me the antibiotics, and I left because I was like, oh my gosh, all these things are going wrong with me. Now I have a healthcare history as a healthcare educator. So I am a registered nurse. I also have been a personal trainer, fitness trainer, owned my own fitness business in my 30s and 40s, and also went to culinary school. So in my 40s to 50s, I worked as a chef. So I've done a lot of different health-related educational type jobs, but I kind of had forgotten myself in this experience. So anyway, being out here in Northern Kentucky, where everyone likes their barbecue and their gravy and that stuff, I had put on probably an extra 10 pounds, but my health was just a mess. And so at the time, and this would have been in 23 in the summer, I started seeing online the Food Revolution Network video podcasts and educational programming that Ocean Robbins had coordinated. And that's where I found you. And you were one of the many presenters, as well as Cyrus Kambulta with Mastering Diabetes, as well as Dr. Greger. And I just was like, wait a minute, maybe it's food. Maybe it's food. And one of my chef jobs in Philadelphia was working at Whole Foods as a healthy eating specialist. So I thought, maybe it's going vegan. I had done that once before, but I was like, I did it when I was 50. I'm then 62. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So you had presented really well and, you know, open-minded. You were taking clients to help them get back on track. And I thought, reach out to you. So I did. So the story, as you well know, was just amazing because I came to you in November of 23 and I was scared. I was really scared. I was like, what's my cholesterol going to be? What's my A1C going to be? Oh, you know, like I didn't want to know, but I wanted to know. So we did all the blood work. I filled out this 10-page, history because you want to know everything. And I remember sitting down with you live because I hadn't met you at that point. We were just virtual. And we went through all my blood work. And you're like, yes, you are pre-diabetic. Your A1C is 6.4. Yes, your cholesterol's through the roof, close to 300, give or take. What else? My blood pressure was high. It was like 150 over 90 something. I was horrified by that. And my weight was closing in at around 170, about the highest of my lifetime, right? So, and I felt horrible. I felt tired all the time. So the neat thing that happened is that you said to me, and it was so wonderful, and it's what made me realize I could trust you, is you said, where do you want to start? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's not going to tell me what I have to do. And I was so excited because it was like, oh, wow. Okay. I'll give up, because I knew I had to go vegan. I knew that was my path. I love vegetables. I love fruits. I'm also trained as a chef. I knew I could cook healthy, but could I eat the way I knew I had to eat? So it was the beginning of the holiday season. So I gave up meat and gave up chicken and beef, and I gave up fried foods, and I cut back on sugary things. But it was Christmas time in December, and I was like, I'm still going to have, it's my birthday time too. I was like, I'm still going to have cake. I'm still going to have a cookie. And it really, I was still losing a little weight because I had given out major problems, and I started walking. You said, walk. I can walk, and I have a dog. So I was like walking the dog. So I did drop about 10 pounds, give or take, the first couple of months. But what really started and changed my entire story was in January. You had been prompting me like, okay, you need to wear a glucose monitor. And I'm a nurse. I was like, I don't want to wear one of those. No, I'm not doing that. Because I knew it would be an aha. I had no idea what an aha would be. So what happened was in January, I started wearing the glucose monitor. That's when I learned that my years of being pre-diabetic and high cholesterol all of a sudden came together to my reality when I would eat what I thought was a healthy meal, like a slim little piece of fish and some rice and some salad and nothing huge, like a really balanced meal. I would eat it, and then I would look at the glucose monitor and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm 250. Yeah. After eating a simple meal. And you had been saying to me, well, it relates to the fat and the protein and the carbohydrates and all that stuff. And I was like, huh? All of a sudden, the light bulb went on of seeing how my diet directly impacted my glucose and my energy and everything. And I was like, oh, I guess I do have to try this vegan thing. So I gradually, somewhere around in February, it clicked. I was like, all right, I'm going vegan, and I can do it. I love cooking. I love food. And I was able to do it, and I was able to really accelerate my weight loss, and my energy went through the roof. People actually, by the time it was March, now granted, this is just 3 months in, neighbors on the street, I'm walking around, walking the dog, and they're like, they would come up to me and they'd go, are you okay? What? You lost all this weight, And I'd be like, yeah, went vegan. Or I learned to say whole foods, plant-based, because that's a less scary thing, because that's truly how I eat now. And they were like, wow, you look great. And so it's been a journey. I'm still on it. I'm still, I've managed to keep the weight off. Now it is October. Pretty much kept the weight off. I now also, in addition to understanding what I eat is being important to lower my glucose and to hopefully lower my cholesterol. I also know I have to exercise. I need to move. And that's where the glucose monitor really helped me, because I would eat a normal dinner, a nice light vegetarian vegan meal. But it had some carbs in it, complex carbs and stuff. And then I'd see the sugar, I'd check, I'd say, oh, it's going up. Oh, and I'd say to my husband, I got to take a walk. And I would go walk, and it would basically help me stabilize my body. And stabilize everything. So I've learned a much more holistic view of how to care for myself. And around in February, I know I'm talking a lot, but I have such a great story, and I think it's so relatable. Around in February, I realized that really the key to this, and it's so simple. The key to being good at this was to just slow down and say, hey, it's a little voice in my head, it's time to take care of yourself.
Yes.
That's the bottom. That's the crux of it. Take care of yourself. And for each person, that's going to look a little different. But I would not have found that self had I not gone on this journey. So.
Well, I love that you're on this journey. I have a couple of things that I wanted to expound on. So you talked about vegan versus whole food plant-based. And everybody should remember that vegan, you can be unhealthy vegan. You can have vegan processed foods and junk food like that. And so we want people to be as more whole food plant-based, a whole apple instead of an apple pie, a whole, things like that. So that's really important. And I mean, certainly you can be an ethical vegan for the animals, but for your health, it's whole food plant-based and not processed foods, which is great. But I also think it's very interesting, your journey, because you were a nurse. You were taking care of other people, but you weren't taking care of yourself.
Right.
So I love the self-care that you talk about, because I always tell tell myself and others, what you put in your mouth can be a medicine. It's either a poison, it's something that doesn't help your health or get you to the goal of being as good as you can, or it helps you. And so actually taking the time to think about that makes a difference. But also learning, we all need to learn more. There's so much conflicting and different information out there. But you've learned, you told me you learned from Mastering Diabetes, from Dr. Greger, et cetera. You knew about carbs, kind of, but you didn't know the fat component on sugars and
I had no idea about and this was Mastering Diabetes, Cyrus's book. And then I had the good fortune to hear him lecture a couple times in March. And it all of a sudden clicked when I read his material, which you led me to, and then hearing him speak. And his wife actually is a nurse as well, so she spoke to me as well. But it finally clicked of like, oh, you mean that extra fat that I'm eating, my diet is circulating around my bloodstream and it's blocking the insulin receptors.
Yep.
It was like a huge aha moment. And I kind of, I'm so motivated to be part of this whole healthcare team of people, because I'm a nurse. I've been dosing diabetic children for the last 5 years based on carbs alone. That's it. And it's it's a huge piece of the how do you manage diabetes, but it's an incomplete picture. And that's where now I get it. And that's also actually, if I could just segue to the point recently, this past summer, I did take the glucose monitor thing off. I said, I'm fine. I don't need it. And I marched along on my own, right? No, because what I was doing is I was having handfuls of nuts. I was having guacamole. I was having a little olive oil here and there. I was having too much fat. And so my cholesterol actually started creeping back up. And my A1C, I guess that maybe stayed the same, maybe you give or take, whatever, but didn't go down. And it should have gone down. And so my weight stayed the same, but I realized, oh, my body really needs to be treated better. I need to eliminate the fats.
And it's interesting because you live in a place where it's not always health oriented where you live. So I'd love to know a couple of things. One, how your family has dealt with this, how your neighbors have dealt with this, if they've noticed any changes, and if they've been a hindrance or a help to you in your journey.
Okay, so I live in Northern Kentucky, i.e. the home of barbecue, and the Skyline chili. Woo! Which I don't even think it has real meat in it. I don't know. But people love their carbs out here. And they love their bourbon. It's Kentucky. Okay. So neither of which is on how I eat. So honestly, initially, the biggest thing, people were like, oh, good for you, Laura, you're losing weight. Because it was clear I needed to lose weight. I was clearly overweight. And so no one disagreed with that. But what happened was people would say, well, how are you getting your protein? Because in where I live, it's meat. You have to have a serving of meat with your dinner and with your lunch. You have to get your protein that way. And so I have a Sunday night dinner that I go to every week with my husband. And so now I am now known as the salad lady. So now, do they still have their barbecue? Yes, but I am introducing a bunch of 30-year-olds and their children and their parents to healthy salads with chickpeas, with quinoa, with brown rice, and they love it. They absolutely love it. So I think that's the best. And then just seeing me change, they've all seen how healthy and happy I am. The biggest, hugest thing is my husband now, who is my age. We've known each other since we were in high school, a long time ago. Anyway, second marriage to both of us. He travels a lot. He works for the airlines, and he just basically has a hard time eating vegetarian/vegan whole foods, right? But he saw the transition in me, and now he's on board, which is amazing. But it makes it way better to have your partner be on board with you. To answer your question, our immediate family out here, I have some friends who have sat at our dinner table, and last Christmas, I remember, or even actually it was holiday time, one woman who's my age, she was eating Brussels sprouts. She goes, I've eaten more vegetables since you started this than I ever have in my entire life. So change is happening in our family, and support too. So it's been good.
Well, I love that you're getting healthier, that you're valuing your health And that's rubbing on to the people around you. It's kind of like a ripple effect.
It is. It is.
Cool. It's great. And you look, just personally from me knowing you since we started to now, you look younger. You have more energy. Your aura, your glow is completely different than it was when we first met. Do you feel?
Absolutely. I went to a memorial service this past weekend in Philadelphia and saw a bunch of people I hadn't seen for about 25 years. And literally people came up to me and said, "You look like you did when you were 40. What are you doing?" You know, and I have not had any face things. I haven't had anything done. Okay. Yes, I dye my hair. Okay. That's the one thing I do. But I feel good and I feel content in my body. And then when I say, they're looking at me and say, "You look better. You look like you did when you were 40. When I was 40, I was a personal trainer. I was ripped. I literally was in the best shape of my younger adult life. So now, I mean, I have no desire to be that now. Now I just want to be healthy and live my best life. So that's where I am.
That's awesome. So improved weight, improved labs, kept you from getting on medications, feeling better, looking better. What's next for you?
That's a good question. I know that I let go of or resigned from my nursing job because it was kind of taking a lot of time. And I love taking care of the kids, but I know what's next for me is to get into this whole foods, plant-based, nutritional, educational consulting arena. So the plant-based, the Plant Revolution Network that Ocean is spearheading. Actually, I did have the pleasure of meeting him at a conference of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine in DC, where I met him and he interviewed me. Yes, thanks to you. You introduced me to him, so it was awesome. And he interviewed me for my story and a little bit, and that was fun. But after the interview, he said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "With your time." I said, "Well, I resigned from my job." He said, "Why don't you be a coach?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I would love to be a coach for your group." I didn't even know that it existed. So I'm signed up, to answer your question. I'm signed up for their coaching program. Starts in January, a 6-month program. So while I am good at inspiring people, I'm good at motivating people, I can be a good accountability partner, I need to really understand the science of what goes on. And there's a good part of that educational programming that will teach me that, as well as how to set up a business. I'm not sure what angle I'm going to go into. Whether it's going to be in a medical holistic setting as a nurse, or whether it's going to be in a integrative healthcare place, teaching cooking, I'm not sure. So I'm definitely going to get into this field and share what I have. And that's career-wise. Now, personally, my neighbors in my nice little Kentucky suburb have already asked me, can I have a cooking class or a potluck? So I'm going to start probably monthly potlucks in my home. I have a nice big kitchen. You can see a little bit of it behind me. And we have a beautiful house to just entertain a bunch of people. So I think that food for me is the best way to speak to people, and they'll learn through that.
See, I think it's also interconnected. You talked about food, but then you talked about movement and exercise and how you could do that more when you're eating healthier. Community is so important, and having support from the community. Avoiding toxins. I mean, I know we talked about alcohol when you first started. You know, you can drink a lot, but you know, any alcohol isn't good for your sugars, isn't good for your cholesterol, isn't good for.
I learned that too when wearing the patches. But it's true. So
what advice do you have for others who are starting, who travel a lot, because you travel a lot, and who are having struggles?
Advice for people traveling, I would say plan ahead. Know that you can bring things on the plane, like you can bring Ziploc bags of snacks. You can bring vegetables, things to eat to carry you over. There are good, healthy alternatives out there, but you have to go. I generally, if I'm traveling, I look for Mexican or I look for Thai. I can always get usually Thai food or Japanese, Asian food. You can usually get steamed vegetables, a little bit of rice, and you can get it just the way you like it. So that's what that's when I'm traveling. What was the other question? Just about.
So people who are starting and then struggling, because people start, then they struggle, then they start, you know,
Yeah. And I think that's a very good point, because they start and they struggle and they quit. And that was my history before here in Kentucky. I tried the keto. It didn't work. Years ago, I tried the Weight Watchers. Didn't work. I quit. Both those, I quit. So this one is different because I found that aha moment of, hey, you just want to take good care of yourself. That was key. I decided I want to take care of myself. It's my turn. Okay. So that internally clicked. The other thing was I decided that it was time for me to become the best version of myself, that now is the time to be the best version of myself. So that's how, and now I live by that every day. I sit down at the table and I think, all right, is this what's going to help me be the best version? So is exercising going to be the best? Yes. So I kind of just have that internally wired now.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of things. I saw Lori Brewer, who's a type 1.5, just got on iLet Bionic pancreas insulin pump. Now 97% in range while eating whole food plant-based. That is awesome. Congratulations, Lori.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Christy asked, what would you say to someone who is on the fence about making a lifestyle medicine appointment?
I would say knowledge is power. You only know what you know. I only knew that diabetes was managed by counting carbs. So educate yourself, see what your choices are, and then make the best decision for yourself.
That's awesome. I think that's great. And we have lifestyle medicine doctors in every state and DC, and we all live the lifestyle we prescribe for our patients. So my colleagues are brilliant and love working with them, and we support each other. And that's what I was talking too about, a community. Some of that, because I struggled with weight before too, and I struggled with some health issues. And what keeps me on track is being surrounded by the positivity of people like you, Laura. I mean, it's just awesome. And I have the ability, if I have a question that I don't know how to answer, if say you ask me something and I don't know the answer, I can talk to my colleagues and we can brainstorm and then get back, and I can get back to you. So it's just really nice. Lifestyle is a holistic approach. It's using your lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle of eating healthy, giving nutrition to your body, moving more, stressing less, avoiding toxins, sleeping well, having a community to help prevent, reverse, and treat chronic diseases. And Laura, you are the epitome of chronic diseases. Weight,
I know,
blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. I mean, those four were interconnected. And I'm so proud of you for the change you made to make yourself younger every year.
Yeah, it is amazing. And it is quite a journey. And I never would have believed it. I mean, literally, I'm the size I was in college. How is that possible? I never would have believed that. But the thing is, better than when I was in college. In college, I really didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. And now, as a 63-year-old woman, I'm much more grounded. I'm just happier, and I understand myself better. So it's a neat place to be. And
I'd be curious to know what things you didn't expect to change that did.
What I didn't expect to change.
If there's anything.
I didn't expect that I could sleep better. I lost that weight. I was, my husband would tell me a couple of times, this is like going back into 22, 23, he would shake me because I had sleep apnea. Now, would I go get the sleep study done? No, but I would stop breathing. Okay, well, if you have all that abdominal girth pressing up on you, of course you're going to have sleep apnea. So that changed. And now and I was a snorer. No wonder. So I sleep quietly now. I don't have any risk of that. And that, of course, is tied to heart disease. And there's so many different things that are tied. I wasn't expecting it, but that's a wonderful benefit. I also wasn't expecting mental clarity. I'm clearer. My brain, the brain fog that you get from sugar and that high and low from carb cravings and junk food stuff, and just like a big dessert, like a ice cream sundae or something from Graders, like something like, oh, let's all do this. Isn't this great? Well, then I would eat it and I'd like it. But then afterwards I would just crash, And so I wasn't expecting, at first I kind of thought, well, I'm not going to have that anymore. But now I'm like, I don't even want that. So I internally have changed. My internal mechanisms have changed. And the other piece, I think I've spoke to you about this before, is that I now know when I'm hungry and I now know when I'm full. So that is a wonderful change that I honestly can say I probably haven't had since I was a kid. That awareness of, okay, I've eaten enough food, stop. And when I was eating poorly and making poor food choices, that was not the case. I was overeating because I think honestly my body was craving good food and I wasn't giving it to myself back then.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what's the difference between what the all other doctors, your traditional doctor visit was versus what you experience here at Love Life Telehealth?
Oh, that's a great question. So remember, I've got the healthcare background. Okay, I was a nurse, personal trainer, telling people how to be healthy in a gym, and then owning my own fitness business, doing all this stuff, telling people. So in my mind, I thought it's just exercise and eat the Mediterranean diet. That's what I thought, right? So I was exercising. I was doing the Mediterranean diet even before I put on this extra 15, 20 pounds. But when I was 20 pounds less than I am now, or 15 pounds, I still was pre-diabetic. I was going to a great doctor. What did they say to me? Lose weight. That's all he had to tell me. Oh, your cholesterol's high, I'm putting you on statins. Again, that's all he had to tell me. I think that's the only resources that he had at the time. That was the best he could do. And it wasn't coming close to what I needed.
Right.
And I think that medicine has changed a lot in the last 15 years. And we now have, there's groups of doctors and healthcare providers who know what you know. And it's a whole new world because of it. For me personally, it's much better. So I can be the best I can be.
That's awesome. Well, I am so proud of you because you did the work. I mean, first even showing up.
Yeah.
And then continuing with it, because it hasn't been always easy, has it?
No, it hasn't. And actually, that's good you point that out, because some weeks I'd come in and I'd be like, oh man, blew that day or blew those couple days, or there'd be something stressful and I'd go back to the old patterns. I would stress eat and then it would show up on the glucose monitor, or, and I'd be like, oh. And the thing was so nice. It was like, that's okay. I didn't get any judgment from you. I didn't get any, well, how could you? No. I was like, all right, get back on, get back on the path, get back on where you need to be. And that's been really wonderful. It's been an easy, let's get back on track and let's do it right. So
that's awesome. And I think we're all human. We all have the experience of outside influences for sure, inside questioning of ourselves, and are we on the right path, or what am I missing out on? And we get to a point where sometimes we do struggle, but the best thing is if you get off path for whatever reason, something pushes you off path, the next meal, get on path. Don't wait 6 months or 7 months. Don't get into a bad space. And I think you've done great. It gets easier, no question, the longer you do it. I've been on this path for about 13, 14 years now. And I feel so much better than I did in my 20s. And people say, oh, you're restricting. I'm like, no, I eat so much and I love what I eat and it's great. But if you had told me when I was 46, 47, that I would want a salad every day, I'd be like, are you kidding me? I eat salads. And now I crave them. And I want greens at every meal. So it becomes where it's so much worth it to feel good and to not be concerned about the other medical problems in the future. It's great. Any last minute things you have for folks? Because I think we are at it. Any last minute things?
Just give it a shot. Give it your best shot. Try it. Explore. Read Dr. Greger's How Not to Die. Great introduction for this whole world. Or, there's so much online, but definitely check out Love Life Telehealth and you won't be sorry.
Well, thank you so much.
Mhm,
You are
mhm.
absolutely amazing. You're an inspiration, and I can't wait to see what you do with your
All right.
knowledge and helping others, because you're awesome. And
Thank you.
come visit any of us at Love Life Telehealth. If you are on medications, especially already for diabetes or for sugars or blood pressure, if you do this, please see a doctor who knows how to take you off
Absolutely.
these medicines if you need to.
Mhm,
And have a
mhm.
wonderful day. Much love to you, Laura, and
Thank
and
you.
thank you so much for being here and helping others and being who you are. You're
Thank
great.
you. Thank you so much.